The church seems fragile, ineffective, and disconnected sometimes. Local congregations can in fact become complacent, divided, self-centered, and other problems abound in the church. The church faces powerful adversaries. They do great harm and threaten to shake our confidence in what God is doing in the church. But God wants to give us His perspective of the church. Psalm 48 doesn't use the word church. Instead, it uses phrases like city of our God, His holy mountain, Mount Zion, the city of the great King in verse 1, city of the Lord of hosts, verse 8. Zion is a nickname for Jerusalem, we learned from 2 Samuel 5, verse 7, but it doesn't simply stand for a geographical location. New Testament believers who have never traveled to Palestine have come to Mount Zion and to the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, Hebrews 12:22 says. Zion is a festal gathering, verse 22 of Hebrews 12, an assembly of those enrolled in heaven, verse 23. Zion is the universal church, the body of Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, verse 24. So how should we think about Zion? How does the psalm urge us to think about Zion, God's church? Big picture, Psalm 48 says, Zion is an impenetrable fortress. Trouble can plague the church only as God allows in order to refine her. Local congregations can and do struggle and falter, but God will preserve the church and scatter her foes. Zion is an eternally enduring city. And being well protected and well loved, God's people are happy, as verse 11 says. Let the daughters of Judah rejoice because of your judgments. The church is the bride of Christ. This truth should make us smile from the inside out. And true happiness is never divorced from worship. Believers are happy in the Lord. And so the psalm begins, verse 1, great is the Lord and greatly to be praised in the city of our God. Of all the things the church can do, none is more important than worship. God wants us to know the church as He sees it. We should, as verses 12 through 14 say, walk about Zion, considering her splendor as it is reflected from God Himself. We must truly experience God. As we have heard, verse 8 says, so must we see. Only then will we tell it to the next generation with the requisite wonder and awe, as verse 13 requires. Our view of the church matters. The next generation can either be put off by our criticisms of the church or inspired by our gratitude of it. Here is Psalm 48. A psalm of the sons of Korah. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised in the city of our God. His holy mountain, beautiful in elevation, is the joy of all the earth. Mount Zion in the far north, the city of the great King. Within her citadels, God has made Himself known as a fortress. For behold, the kings assembled. They came on together. As soon as they saw it, they were astounded. They were in panic. They took to flight. Trembling took hold of them there. Anguish as of a woman in labor. By the east wind, you shattered the ships of Tarshish. As we have heard, so have we seen in the city of the Lord of hosts, in the city of our God, which God will establish forever, Selah. We have thought on your steadfast love, O God, in the midst of your temple. As your name, O God, so your praise reaches to the ends of the earth. Your right hand is filled with righteousness. Let Mount Zion be glad. Let the daughters of Judah rejoice because of your judgments. Walk about Zion. Go around her, number her towers, consider well her ramparts, go through her citadels, that you may tell the next generation that this is God, our God forever and ever. He will guide us forever.